Welcome to the Abolitionist Roundtable with your hosts Del, Phil, and Janice. Come on in and take a seat. You're invited to join the roundtable. Call 734-822-1600 to get into the conversation. And now, your hosts, Del Marsh, Phil Stargell, and Janice Daniels.
She's off on.
And good morning. This is the Abolitionist Roundtable. Today, we have a lot of information, but first, we are going to start this off with a message and just something that we did not expect, and something that we want to pass on. One of the founding members of our spiritual family, the Abolitionist Roundtable organization, wife and dear friend of Art of Michigan, passed away on Wednesday the 19th. Charles McCullough, the founding father of one of the founding fathers of
Joshua's Trail and the Abolitionist Roundtable.
That is his wife of many, many years, and a very, very strong and supporting member of this spiritual family. And it's just devastating, and we are solely going to miss her.
Yes,
because she worked very, very closely with us on our banquets.
All of them, yes.
Whew, boy. And so
our own personal lunchings, our banquets, and also, worked on Joshua's Trail banquets for many years.
Yes.
I mean, we going into the 11th year now. So, yeah, she's been doing it for a long time. So, yeah, she's going to be truly missed. She was a woman of faith, so we know that she might have left her body, but so she's on the other side, and we'll see her again. But yeah, it's still heartbreaking.
I want to again mention Marilyn McCullough.
Yes,
very, very, very strong member of the Joshua Trail organization and our spiritual family, and just a spiritual brother and a spiritual sister. Boy, I tell you. That's one of the bad things about getting older. Things like this happen. So, but we'll carry on and keep her memory strong and keep her legacy. She has a legacy also, because she knew what it was about. It was about your own personal efforts to do things and make achievements, and they came back to her. I mean, the achievements were the very successful. She was a very integral part of the very successful banquets that Joshua Trail and Art of Michigan put on, and so what we have is this is her legacy, is that to show about excellence. That's what she was about. She was a lady of excellence. And this is the kind of thing that those kind of efforts are things that we need to pass on to our children, because the powers in this country are not interested in excellence. They are interested in just whatever they can do.
Yeah, mediocrity. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. She was about excellence, and always pushed us to bring it to the next level, that level of excellence. Right. And absolutely today, when we live in an era where everybody get a trophy, everybody get a jersey, everybody get a certificate,
but nobody gives the effort, the extra effort,
and so they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and so on and so forth. But absolutely, Phil, we want to make sure that we keep that, what you just said, in front of us to excellence. We need to push this next generation, these young men and women, because they're gonna need it. Because what some of these people today are putting forth, man.
Well, you can see it in our politics this year.
Yeah.
Here they are pushing a socialist
Can you
as
believe
an
it?
alternative.
Can you believe it?
And we've already
and pulling big
yeah,
crowds. That's
yeah,
the sad thing.
yeah. And we've already got a socialist, if not a communist, in the White House as we speak.
Man. Oh, man. We've never had a Marxist like we have today, man. Never, ever. This country has made a change in the last 6.5 years. The kind of field that I never, ever, ever thought that anybody would ever embrace.
And here's the thing.
It's really disturbing.
Right now, we have in my hands here, we have a story from the organization called The Root.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, is Donald Trump vying to become the next George Wallace?
And this is the thing, Phil. When the leftists, progressives, when they don't even know history, that's the sad part. When they won't even protect the 13th and 14th and 15th Amendment, when they don't even know the origin of the 14th, 15th, and 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, when they would reference him as the next George Wallace, when George Wallace was a Democrat, and that legacy is still there in the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
And they want to compare him to George Wallace, I think is despicable.
Well, here's the thing: the 14th Amendment it should be called into question because they've corrupted it.
It has.
You
been
know, you hear them talk about, the immigration system is broken. No, it's not broken. It's never been practiced. It's never been. It's never been put into practice.
All you have to do is implement it, enforce the laws.
Yeah.
That's all you have to. See, the reason, and then they go back to the 14th Amendment, but we know that liberals are really not, or progressives are not really interested in the 14th Amendment anyway. They're not even interested in the Constitution. I don't even know why they even bring it up.
Let's look at it.
They're interested in civil rights.
Civil rights, exactly right. Which is unconstitutional.
And that's all they're interested in.
But listen to this. It says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. That's all. That's as far as they go with this thing. Mm-hmm. When they see the citizens of the United States.
Yes.
But what it was, the intent, they never look at the intent unless it's something that they want, like abortion.
Unless they can manipulate
where
it.
The intent of abortion was privacy. Am I correct?
Uh-huh.
That was to ensure that women had the privacy to have these procedures done. Mm-hmm. Today, how is it privacy? It's the same thing with the marriage. Mm-hmm. It was about one thing. Now, so the privacy is thrown out, and every person that has any kind of a sexual picadillo now is out there telling us that they don't want privacy. They want you to give them recognition for perversion.
In your face.
Yeah.
Straight in your face. Do you know that the community organizer, not only did he have the White House lit up in a rainbow on June 26th, which is perverted, and which we would not, I'm going to say personally that I was against. Because that shouldn't. Because we are a moral, and this is still a Christian nation, a Judeo-Christian nation, regardless of this community organizer. Second, this community organizer has just appointed his first transgender in the White House.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So you notice that it's the move beyond just marriage. Yeah. Now we moved into transgender.
Yeah.
Now, so this is the next civil right, and now we're going to move over. It's going to move into, it's just going to keep progressing because these are progressives.
Yeah.
It's going to keep progressing to it. I see no end to it at all. Well, if we don't stop this.
What you can see firsthand is what happened. This has all happened within an 8-year period. But the Fourth Amendment, they perverted that over a period of about 100 years. And so, we see things moving at 21st century speed.
Yes.
But the intent of the 14th Amendment was, and it says right here, that it was to give citizenship to they got African Americans, but there weren't any such thing as African Americans.
You see how
These
automatically
were former slaves. This is former property.
Yeah.
That the intent was to make them citizens so they could use and take the way to use the techniques and things that they learned in slavery and put it on the market and support themselves.
Yes.
And what we ended up doing is over 100-year period, we perverted that law to allow anybody and everybody to walk across our borders and ignore all of the other stipulations that were in that 14th Amendment and just concentrate on making citizens out of anybody that could walk to the border and walk across. That is the Congress not doing their job, and it is the judicial system taking over a role that they were never given the authority to do, and that is write laws. And once they started writing these laws about anchor babies and all of that other nonsense, then we see where we are today. Well, I see.
And Phil, I just want to point out, and it's brought a lot of cities, a lot of states to where a lot of cities were, and states too were has been in trouble, financially been in trouble because they haven't been able to support this, all these illegals in their schools, all these illegals that's been used in their hospitals. It's been practically, and Phil, here, let's go back for a minute. And the reason why this perversion came along in the first place is because we know that some hospitals, some cities saw a number of illegals coming into and using these facilities. So they had to come up with a way so that they could insure these people without bankrupting the hospitals.
But they were bankrupt.
And it was the perversion of it.
But they needed a source of revenue. Yes. And the government, federal government, was only too willing because they knew once that these people were in this country and getting welfare, getting medical benefits, they're going to vote Democrat.
Yeah.